Hey folks, Russell here, come from the shop. Just wanted to give kind of a 2,000 mile update on the CJ-7 restoration. As many of y'all know in previous videos, we did a 6-year full frame off restoration on a 1986 Jeep CJ-7. It's done, we've been driving it, runs great, gets crap for gas mileage because it's a Jeep, but quick update. We're at about 2,500 miles on it, and one of the things I did shortly after we got it on the road, I was replace the parking lamps, brake, stop lamp, turn signal lamps, whatever, with LEDs, and of course corresponding electric flashers so that they'll function properly. I want to talk about that. And I'll put a link in the description for all the parts that I used. The tail light, brake system, whatever, pretty straightforward. 2 bulbs to replace, the parking / stop lamp, and then the reverse lamp. Nothing weird going on in the tail of the vehicle. The front, however, gets a little bit weird. So this lamp here, the side marker on the front of the CJ, it does some weird things. So when you turn your parking lamps on, they come on, as well as your front lamps. But this is where it gets weird. And I guess weird's not the right word. When you turn a turn signal on, obviously your front parking lamp turn signal goes dim, bright, dim, bright. The side marker goes on and off. And if you notice, they alternate. And the reason they do that is this lamp assembly grounds through this lamp assembly. So when that one goes high, it kills the ground for this, which shuts it off. That's great, works awesome. And I'll come back here and show you how bright the tails are. See how bright they are. And so I wanted to do the LEDs for a safety factor, mostly for the tail, to make those much brighter. So anyway, you cannot put LEDs in here. There's another guy on YouTube, and I don't know if I could find his video. If I can, I'll link it. He did, and somehow it worked, but it shouldn't have, because this lamp grounds through that lamp assembly. So when that one wants to go bright, it kills this one. Anyway, so it wouldn't work. If I put an LED in here, these would just stay on all the time, and I'd get the dash indication that I got a bad bulb. So all the bulbs in the vehicle are LEDs, obviously minus the headlamps, my fog lamps, and my spot lamps. But all my dash bulbs are LEDs. Marker lights LED, tail lights are LEDs, all the dash lights. These had to remain incandescent. But it works out really well. They are plenty bright enough. You can see how bright the tail lamp is. And let me throw it in reverse real quick. I'll turn that off. And let's do this. Oh, that's still too bright. stand by while I shut all the lights off in the shop. So all the lights are off. Well, not all of them. Hang on. Shut the lights off in the front of the shop, since once I'm done with this, I'm going home. There we go. Now it's dark. So that is fully dark. You can see how bright the reverse lamps are. We'll take it out of reverse again. Of course, that's just a standard tail lamps. And I don't have somebody to hold the brakes down, so I'll just throw on a blinker. That's how bright the blinkers are, or the stop lamps. We've got some really bright lighting here. So, obviously, as I said before, all my dash lighting is LED. And the tack, clock, and they actually function properly, dimming. Keep them about right there. And of course, that's my low beams and the high beams. Those are traditional H4 lights from CBA. I'll demonstrate the fog lamps as well as the spot lamps. I'm a big fan of traditional halogen lighting for some of this stuff. So those are the fog lamps, traditional yellow halogen fog lamps. I don't know if I'm going to keep those lamps. I may go with a rectangular because they throw a better side pattern, which is really what I was looking for. Those are the spot lamps. CBA spot lamps with a 100-watt bulb. And that's about it. Like I said, I just want to do a quick update. I know in previous videos I talked about some of the issues I was having with getting all my dash lighting the way I wanted it. It did involve doing some rewiring so that all the bulbs in all the gauges were the same type, and I could get them from the same supplier so that they are actually putting out the same amount of light. The main Speedo assembly does have a colored cover, integral, built-in, whatever, to the speedometer assembly, and it does make that aqua blue lighting just a touch darker in the speedometer, but that really doesn't bother me. The biggest thing was being able to read. Originally I had all like deep dark blue lights in there, and I couldn't read the top of the speedometer even when it was all the way up. So having that lighter aqua color keeps it from being full-blown white, but it allows me to read see the top of the speedometer assembly. And of course, doing all the rest of the LED lightings, now these are incandescent lights as well, but we've got the footwell lighting functioning now. So should I need to find something in the floorboards. But that's it, just a quick update on the lighting. Like I said, I like the traditional old school period correct lighting. So like I said, we're using a CBA halogen H4 Eurocode light assembly. I had these on the shelf for a long time. I have now heard that their quality control has kind of really gone to doo-doo. So I'll put a link in the description for what I think is a better option. And then of course we're running a relay kit in there. And then the CBA yellow fogs, I actually looking at these, they're not fogs, they're a driving beam. So that even tells me more that we are gonna go to a rectangular fog beam because I want that flat fog pattern. And then the CBA spot lamps. The only other thing we've done, obviously, I have to put switches in, and this took a little bit to figure out. So we've got a 5-pot switch panel that'll hold 3 bulbs and 2 switches. Let's see if I can line this up right. So there's my check engine light, and then it'll go out like it should. And then if I turn on the fog lamps, we get an indication that the fog lamps are on. And same thing for the spot lamps. I get an indication that my spot lamps are on. Of course, and it's an OBD1 system, so the check engine light will give you your codes if you do the whole on, off, on, and wait. So that's about it. Quick update, and also wanted to talk about the LED bulbs. I will put a link in the description for all the bulbs that I used. And if I can find that guy's video that talked about doing LEDs, not saying he's wrong, but if you have the painless wiring set, and I know that bulb grounds to the other one, so you cannot put an LED at the front parking signals on a CJ or a YJ because of the way they ground, and XJs as well because they do the same thing. So that's it. That's all I got for now. If you like this content, go ahead and like, hit subscribe, hit that bell icon for future notifications, and as always, more to follow.